Hey, partner, come here.
Well, next week, the Sunday film is On a Clear Day You Could See Forever, starring Barbara Streisand as a chain smoker who gets involved with hypnosis and extrasensory perception and ends up as someone quite different from the last century. On a Clear Day You Can See Forever at 7:15 next Sunday. And there's more on feature films tomorrow evening on BBC1 in a new series, Now Showing. Michael Wood reviews the past month's new films, which include Foxes, Popeye and Superman 2, plus Roman Polanski's interpretation of the classic Thomas Hardy novel, Tess. Now Showing is tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Tomorrow on BBC1, the Royal Ballet, celebrating their 50th anniversary, performs Sir Frederick Ashton's La Fille Malgade at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, an enchanting tale of a girl who falls in love with the boy next door. Leslie Collier and Michael Coleman dance the roles of Lise and Colin, with Gary Grant as Alain. And Brian Shaw as Widow Simone. La Fille Malgade, a ballet for the May Day holiday, tomorrow at 7:10 on BBC1.
On BBC Two shortly, the first of 3 programmes on the life of General Moshe Dayan. On BBC1 now, That's Life.
Thank you very much indeed. Good evening. We would like to thank you for all the letters you've sent us again this week.
Particularly Miss June Sperry, who lives in Camberley, and says...
Please, Canister, just for once, begin the programme by saying, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gardener's Question Time." At least it would make a change from the same old thing she always says.
I don't always say the same old thing, do I?
Yes, you do.
Now, look here. I just come down and bow to the audience and then find my chair and sit down on it and say perfectly spontaneously, "Thank you very much indeed. Good evening." We would like to thank you for all the letters you've sent us again this week and for some delightful gifts. Oh, well, have a look at this programme. Different dress, you see, different audience. Same old chair, I admit. But then I sit down and say quite spontaneously. How kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening. We would like to thank you for all the letters you've sent us again this week.
Told you.
Well, perhaps I repeat myself once or twice, but that's sheer fluke.
No, it's not.
How kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening. We would like to thank you for all the letters you've sent us again this week. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gardener's Question Time. Well, if you prefer it, that's how it's going to be. And actually, it's not such a bad idea, because you're a resident gardener, aren't you, Cyril?
Well, that must be why Mrs. Waddle sent me this rather quaint Australian sign advertising fertilizer. Oola poo, from Contented Moo. Hurry, it's running out.
Not worth thinking about that too much. You probably saw the report this week by a Canadian sociologist who says women are much more ticklish than men, and he's going to conduct his own research into that in this country. We thought we ought to beat him to it. So we went out to find out if people really are ticklish.
Well, I am under 1 foot only.
Only under 1 foot?
The left foot.
The left foot.
When I go to crop this, say as soon as he touches out, I'm off, but otherwise I'm...
Do you think women are more ticklish than men?
Yes,
or...
I do, yes, I do, yeah.
Why is that, I wonder?
I don't know, because if I'm behind a girl or a young lady, and she's like that, I just under the arms and away they go. I do, yes, I do.
Where? At parties and so on?
Parties, indeed, yeah.
And in the street?
And even in shops, I do.
At the bus stop? But it's only girls who tickle in shops like
Oh,
this.
yes.
You don't tickle men?
No.
No, you might get a
But
black
I
eye.
might get a gay one.
Are you ticklish?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, of course, I don't touch you.
Where are you most ticklish?
Oh, don't tell you. I don't want to try it on.
No, I'm not going to tickle you. I'm just asking.
Oh, no, I'm not telling you.
Do you like being tickled?
No, I don't.
No, I don't. I get annoyed with people when they tickle
We
me.
can laugh without being tickled.
Are ladies more ticklish than men?
Thought to analyse it, quite honestly. I'd like to experiment if you want to volunteer.
Oh, no, I won't. See if we can find a man to volunteer.
Well,
Hold on just
I'm a bit
second. I'd like to
choosy.
experiment. Well, perhaps
I'm
you'd like
a
to
bit
choose
selective,
one. Perhaps you'd like to choose one then. You see anything you like so far?
Well, at my age, it's hard, isn't it?
One there. What do you think? Did you come here for a moment?
You didn't rise to the bait, did you? Well, I'm sure he must be. Look at that. I think my experiment...
Sensitive. You're not ticklish at all, are you?
Oh, yes.
Well, why didn't that tickling succeed in making you laugh?
Wasn't in the right place, was it?
I'm Dutch.
Yes, my husband.
Your husband, you tickle him?
Yes.
I do. You tickle
Yes.
You like that?
Est-ce que tu aimes?
Oui,
bien sûr,
yes, yes. Of course.
Of course. Now, you tickle her.
Tu me le fais toi aussi.
De temps en temps.
At night.
At night.
At night you tickle. and madam, you like that?
Yes.
You like it?
Do you think women are more ticklish than men? Or is it the other way around?
The woman more stronger than the man. Walkie to her. Woman. Because walkie in a house is walkie out. And the man only walkie out, and the walkie in the house all the time is smoky and the newspaper. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Can we tickle? Would you? Thank you.
Things people get up to. Cyril, where do you like being tickled most?
Behind the gasworks. I must thank all the viewers who sent me souvenirs from their Easter holidays abroad. Gillian Smith went to Mexico and recommends a restaurant called La Hacienda with air-conditioned entrails. Claire James went to Las Vegas, where she found a yogurt shop in a road called Udder Way. Drive down it, a policeman tells you to go the other way. And James Gilsanan found a rather alarming sign in the "Oh man, do not sit on the wall."
If you haven't booked your holiday yet, may we recommend a brand new holiday resort? In fact, it's so new that it was only Thursday of this week that the local council there decided it could be a resort. Mr. David Krantz told us about it. He said...
It's glorious Golders Green.
We said you can't mean Golders Green in London. He said...
Certainly. Why not?
We said because Golders Green is just a suburb of a rather large city, so how can it suddenly turn into a holiday resort? He said...
Because I'm fed up with being fined for opening my shop on Sundays. 15 of us were done just the other day. The law's ridiculous. The only way round the law is to call us a resort. Then at least we're allowed to stay open 18 Sundays a year, which is better than nothing. Families like to come shopping here on Sunday. And anyway, what's wrong with Golders Green? It's as pretty as Benidorm any day.
We didn't entirely believe that, so we went to have a look at glorious Golders Green. First we went into Bloom's, the Jewish restaurant there, and said, suppose we came here for our holiday, what is there to see? Mr. Michael Landor, one of the waiters, said,
You've come to the right place. Let me show you the local delicacy, salt beef. Or if you prefer traditional English food, across the road there's a traditional English hamburger house. Scenery, we've got it. You can relax in the countryside, admire the bridges and the peaceful old world bus station. Or if you like exciting nightlife, what could be better than the Golders Green Hippodrome? It's been taken over by the BBC now, and they do Friday night is music night, or the famous Golders Green Crematorium. All our visitors seem to end up here.
well, of course, what all that is really about is the Sunday trading laws, which are in this Shops Act. They are an absolute shambles. You'll have noticed some shops are allowed to stay open on Sundays and some shops aren't, and some shops will sell you anything and some won't. And 10 weeks ago, an MP called Sir Anthony Mayor tried to make sense of all that and change the Shops Act, but his new bill was talked out. He told us,
all I was trying to do was stop shops like the ones in Golders Green having to put up with all these ridiculous prosecutions. It's totally unjust. Why should they have to try and call themselves a holiday resort? They should just be allowed to open on Sunday if they want to. All the shops in Scotland are allowed to.
And a great many of our other viewers agree with him. Mr. Frank Taylor, who lives in Market Harborough, wrote to us about it. He runs a fish and chip shop. And according to the Shops Act, it's quite legal to open a restaurant on Sunday, but it is illegal to open a fish and chip shop. He told us,
It's ridiculous. When I decided to open my shop on Sunday a few weeks ago, the local health officer told me I couldn't. He said I could only serve fish and chips in a restaurant, not to take away. But I could serve takeaway sausage and chips.
We said, you mean it's only legal to sell fish and chips on Sunday if people eat it in the shop, not if they take it away?
Right, the whole thing's balmy. Not only that, but it's racial discrimination. It's only the English who can't eat their national dish. The Chinese are allowed to sell chop suey and chips. The Indians can sell curry and chips. The Americans can sell Kentucky Fried Chicken and chips. I'm going to take this to the Race Relations Board.
And he did. He wrote them a very strong letter. It said,
I can sell chips in the takeaway, but not fried fish. Steamed fish, poached fish, or fish cooked any other way, but not fried. It's a clear case of discrimination against the English.
And the Race Relations Board wrote back.
I agree entirely that there is discrimination in the existing provisions, although I am not certain whether I would share your argument that it is racial or ethnic discrimination.
And they went on to explain it's all thanks to the Shops Act.
In those circumstances, unfortunately, the Commission is unable to assist you.
Mr. Taylor said,
That's ludicrous. Do you know it's perfectly legal for a Chinese takeaway to sell fried fish and chips on Sunday, but not me?
And he's right. We rang the National Federation of Fish Fryers. We said, are all fish and chip shops in this predicament? They said,
it really depends if the local council strictly enforces the Shops Act. Some of them turn a blind eye to it.
And that's what Mr. Winberg, who runs a furniture shop in Wantage in Oxfordshire, is also complaining about. He wrote to us and said,
Lots of visitors come here on Sunday. I work in the shop with my wife. We'd love to open on Sunday. So I wrote to the council and asked their permission. That was my mistake. They wrote back and said I couldn't. But loads of other shops in the village do open on Sunday. So I did. I was taken to court and fined £50. It's not fair.
So we spoke to some of the shops who do stay open in Wantage, but didn't ask permission from the council and haven't been fined. For obvious reasons, they didn't really want to be identified. But one newsagent told us,
we're open on Sunday, but we aren't allowed to sell games or toys. So we put a bit of string across and just sell sweets, newspapers and books.
We said, it's illegal to sell books on Sunday.
Is it? I didn't know that. And anyway, quite honestly, if someone asks for a toy or something, we nip under the string and get it for them. It's stupid, isn't it? But the council never bother us.
In fact, this law seems to embarrass the councils as much as it irritates shopkeepers and their customers, which is why there's probably a shop just round the corner from you that is open today quite illegally. The theory of this is that you're only allowed to sell things that need to be fresh on Sunday. So it's legal to sell a herring, but it's illegal to sell a kipper because it's smoked. But there are so many odd exceptions that when we ask people around the country to go shopping for us on a Sunday, they bought a lot of interesting things.
In Otley, near Leeds, we bought a rubber plant.
Now that is illegal. Fresh cut